All right, moving along with Gregory of Nyss's The Life of Moses. We are on section Crossing the Red Sea. This is where it gets, even better, I think, in my opinion. I have a little special guest with me. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Okay, can you be quiet while Daddy reads? Daddy's going to read, okay? Listen, okay? So, Crossing the Red Sea. No one who hears this should be ignorant of the mystery of the water. He who has gone down into it with the army of the enemy emerges alone, leaving the enemy's army drowning in the water. For who does not know that the Egyptian army, those horses, chariots and their drivers, archers, slingers, heavily armed soldiers, and the rest of the crowd in the enemy's line of battle are the various passions of the soul by which man is enslaved? For the undisciplined intellectual drives and the sensual impulses to pleasure, sorrow, and covetousness are indistinguishable from the aforementioned army. Reviling is a stone straight from the sling, and the spirited impulse is the quivering spear point. The passion for pleasures is to be seen in the horses who themselves, with irresistible drive, pull the chariot. In the chariot, there are three drivers, whom the history calls visors. Since you were previously instructed in the mystery of the side posts and the upper doorposts, you will perceive these three who are completely carried along by the chariot as the tripartite division of the soul, meaning the rational, the appetitive, and the spirited. So all such things rush into the water with the Israelite who leads the way in the baleful passage. Then, as the staff of faith leads on and the cloud provides light, the water gives life to those who find refuge in it, but destroys their pursuers. Moreover, the history teaches us by this what kind of people they should be who come through the water, bringing nothing of the opposing army along as they emerge from the water. For if the enemy came up out of the water with them, they would continue in slavery even after the water, since they would have been brought up themselves by the tyrant, still alive, whom they did not drown in the deep. If anyone wishes to clarify the figure, this lays it bare. Those who pass through the mystical water in baptism must put to death in the water the whole phalanx of evil, such as covetousness, unbridled desire, rapacious thinking, and passion of conceit and arrogance, wild impulse, wrath, anger, malice, envy, and all such things. Since the passions naturally pursue our nature, we must put to death in the water both the base movements and the mind and the acts which ensue from them. Just as unleavened bread was eaten in the mystery of the Pasch, which is the name of the sacrificial victim whose blood prevents the death of the one using it, even so the law now commands us to eat unleavened bread at the Pasch. Unleavened would be unmixed with the stale yeast.
Right.
The law gives us to understand by this that no remnant of evil should mix with the subsequent life. Rather, we should make a totally new beginning in life after these things, breaking the continuity with evil by a radical change for the better. Thus also he means here that after we have drowned the whole Egyptian person, that is every form of evil, in the saving baptism we emerge alone, dragging along nothing foreign in our subsequent life. This is what we hear through the history, which says that in the same water the enemy and the friend are distinguished by death and life, the enemy being destroyed and the friend given life. Many of those who receive the mystical baptism in ignorance of the commandments of the law mix the bad leaven of the old life and with the new life. Even after crossing the water, they bring along the Egyptian army, which still lives with them in their doings. Take, for instance, the one who became rich by robbery or injustice, or who acquired property through perjury, or lived with a woman in adultery, or undertook any of other things against life which have been forbidden before the gift of baptism. Does he think that even after his washing he may continue to enjoy these evil things which have become attached to him, and yet be freed from the bondage of sin, as though he cannot see that he is under the yoke of harsh masters? For uncontrolled passion is a fierce and raging master to the servile reasoning, tormenting it with pleasures as though they were scourges. Covetousness is another such matter, which provides no relief to the bondsman, but even if the one in bondage should slave in subservience to the commands of the master and acquire for him what he desires, the servant is always driven on to more. and all the other things which are performed by evil are so many tyrants and masters. If someone should still serve them, even if he should happen to have passed through the water, according to my thinking, he has not at all touched the mystical water, whose function is to destroy evil tyrants. Thanks for listening.